Hey guys, my name is Nate and this is my brother Steven. Together we are Wingman Merch.
Thanks for checking out our video. We put these up about a month after we shoot them. If you'd like to catch any of these videos live, check out our Facebook page. The link is in the description.
Another Merch Monday. You guys don't know, this is Stephanie. I'm gonna say we met her, but we didn't actually even meet her yet in person. She jumped on a hangout call that I was doing last month, May.
Oh, it's
Um,
like a couple months ago, wasn't it?
I can't remember. My brain is fried. But she was brave enough to step out and actually jump on a call, start telling us what she did for a living. Those calls were just getting to know people, kind of like a local meetup, but we wanted to do something like that online. So got to know Stephanie. A lot of cool things have come from that. She is here tonight talking about Etsy because we saw that she was having success in Etsy. And she also has a job where I don't even know how to best say it. What is it that you do for your job?
So my official title is Learning Solutions Manager. So I actually do corporate training, classroom and e-learning courses.
Yeah, as soon as I heard that, I was like, that's perfect because we are trying to do that and we know very little about that. So can you look at what we're doing and tell me if it's any good? And then just a lot of good advice from her. And then she put together a course on Etsy. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm never doing this again. This is your project now. Because it was way better than anything we could do. Especially if you go back and watch like any of the Trello board stuff that we did or anything in the beginning where it was like me and Nathaniel just sitting side by side. I'm like louched way over. I got a thick beard. I look like a homeless person. We quickly have gotten better and better equipment, and we still enjoy helping people. It is funny to see how fast this thing has grown in such a short period of time.
Definitely has.
Even to the point now where we have the membership group.
Yes, and Stephanie's in that membership group. And this is the kind of stuff that we want coming out of that membership group. We have, I guess, partnered is technically what we've done, even though we are teaching partnership with inside the membership group right now. And Stephanie was kind of already, the biggest thing is just stepping outside of your comfort zone and getting to meet people. Then we kind of show you how to build those relationships into actual business relationships. But as soon as Stephanie stepped out and kind of just, basically said what she did, and then took the time to put together an Etsy course, I was like, oh yeah, we definitely need to find more ways to work together. So this course that is now finished, that I've been kind of holding Stephanie back just due to all the stuff that I have going on, is coming out. Talk about it a little bit more deeper in the call, but super excited for that. I was pulling up the Trello board. Sorry, brother.
You're good. So yeah, Stephanie, how are things in the Etsy world? Since that's what we're gonna focus mostly on tonight, is talking about Etsy.
Yeah, doing pretty good. I actually, right before we jumped on the call, I just got a custom request. So get those pretty regularly. I think as of today, I've made like it's over 80 transactions, over 100 shirts, and because the profit margins are so good with Etsy, I make between $8 and $11 a shirt. I've made about $1,100 in like 3 or 4 months since I've been on Etsy. So it's actually doing pretty well. It's kind of kicking Merch's butt right now, profit-wise, if I'm going to be honest. But there's still a lot to learn with Merch. I know the potential is there. And then you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? So I'm just kind of diversifying, and the same designs I'm putting on Merch are the same ones that I'm putting on Etsy. So it's not like I'm having to start all over. I'm basically double dipping and just an additional revenue stream.
So I guess what's the biggest difference between Merch and Etsy in your eyes?
A couple of different things. So one, Merch is absolutely free to play. Getting your account is the hardest part, and now that's pretty easy. Etsy is a paid platform, so it's free to open a store, but you have to pay to list any items. You have transaction fees. So it seems to come easier for me than Merch for some strange reason, but it does take a little bit more time because with Amazon, you get not that many choices. You have a standard shirt, a premium shirt, sweatshirt, hoodie, long sleeve. That's it. When you start integrating your Printful and Etsy store, first thing you do when you log in, they're like, okay, do you want men's apparel, women's apparel, homeware, cell phone cases? So you just randomly select men's apparel, and it's like, okay, great. Do you want a unisex shirt, a crew neck shirt, a long sleeve shirt, a V-neck shirt, a raglan shirt? Like, there's so many more options with Etsy than there are with Amazon right now. It's kind of cool to kind of just play with. So it ends up taking a little bit more time because you get lost in the sauce of, do I want to do a tank top, a V-neck, or,
Analysis paralysis. Is there a different charge and a different price for each one of those?
Yeah, so each item has a different price point. It depends, like anything else, the manufacturer, because you can actually choose between different manufacturers. So depends, different cuts will be different prices. The great thing with once you select what you want to choose, when you get to the pricing thing, they already go, here's what we suggest you price it at. Here's your markup. Of course, you can change that because you can change your commission structure. But they really do take a lot of the guesswork out of it for you. So you don't have to overthink it too much.
You said you got a customer request beforehand, and that's probably the biggest thing that scared me away from Etsy for a while, was just hearing people having to deal with actual customers.
Yeah.
I dealt with that while selling on eBay, and it was always a nightmare. And so I don't like that the customer can directly contact you. Has that been something that you've had a problem with?
It hasn't been an issue with me whatsoever. I actually welcome customer requests. So they just click the button, hey, they see an item they like, they click a button that says, customer request, and then they shoot me an email. And typically it's, I love this design, but I want it on a different shirt, or I have it on a t-shirt. Hey, can you put this on a tank top? Or can you put this on a purple tank top? That's literally the only communication I've had with customers, other than, hey, you only have one shipping option. Can you ship this quicker for me? And I've done that for a few people. It's an extra charge, but I haven't had any complaints. Nobody has shipped anything back to me. Nobody
That's
has
what I was going to ask. No
complained.
customer service type stuff to deal with, really?
No, literally, it's just been, hey, can you offer this design on a different style shirt? Or I waited too late. How quickly can you get this to me? And I've actually gone in and done overnight shipping for someone, and they paid the 25 extra bucks for overnight shipping.
Nice.
One customer was so nice, I actually just covered overnight shipping for her, but I was in a giving mood that day.
So I guess that's a big difference too between merch and Etsy, is you feel like you're a little more in power or in charge of your business more than just handing off a lot of that stuff to merch. Can you drive that traffic outside or give coupon codes to your customers?
Yeah, so you can have your own sales, you can have coupon codes. What a lot of Etsy sellers do is, once you've purchased an item, after that purchase, they'll send, hey, here's 20% off your next item. I haven't gotten into doing that yet. I probably will at some point. But you can't drive customers off of your Etsy to, say, Amazon, but you can drive customers into Etsy day or night. You can coupon, free shipping. Okay. It's really up to you how you want to handle it. The sky's the limit, really.
Before we get too far and just to continue grilling Stephanie on Etsy questions,
I feel like we're beating you up.
No, you're not at all.
I want to talk about two things. One is the reason that we had Stephanie on and we're asking her all these questions is because Stephanie has been awesome and created a course for us. And it's actually going to be released on Wednesday. And to let you guys kind of know the content that's going to be in there, we're going to make the first video free in this group. So if you guys are at all interested in selling Etsy, I definitely think that you should check out the first video. And then if you like the content and think that you want to see the rest of it, it will be available on Wednesday, and we'll provide all the links and stuff for that. And if you guys are in chat right now and you guys have any questions about Etsy, we have a few more questions that we want to ask Stephanie for you. But if you guys have questions, go ahead and put them in the Facebook group, and I'm reading chat. So as soon as I see those, I'll interject and ask those on your guys' behalf. So Stephen, if you want to go ahead and ask the next question we already had lined up.
Yeah, I guess for me, the way we're running merch is we do a lot of shotgunning, I guess, to find niches, and then from that we kind of refine it. Do you, with Etsy, I know before, because we were kind of talking, is it normally niche focus? And would you suggest like running everything through one store or have multiple stores, or how would you kind of suggest going after niches versus, or I guess the strategy of going and making shirts for Etsy?
And it really depends on who you ask, because I've read a lot of articles where you'll have some people say you need to have a separate store for every niche that you're in. And then I've read other articles where they say, no, don't do that. Because if you look at some of the biggest and most popular store on Etsy, they just throw everything in there. So I think it's really a matter of personal choice. I'm personally shotgunning. I don't, I have a full-time 8-to-5 job. I'm doing Etsy, I'm doing merch. I really don't want to have to manage 20 different stores because I have 20 different niches up. So I've got it all together in one store. But I think that's really, again, a personal choice.
Interesting. So
Jessica's asking, sorry, to continue on that, Jessica's asking, can you separate your store into different categories? Like
yeah, you absolutely can. Okay. And you can separate it by category, whether it's a niche or a theme. But like I have my store separated by t-shirts, premium t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies. That's the way I chose to do it. You can actually have it segmented by theme. So if you wanted to have cat shirts, dog shirts, goat shirts, what have you, aardvark shirts, you can do that. So you can actually create categories in your Etsy store.
Gotcha.
Do you get any information from Etsy to see how people are coming into your store and where they're spending time?
I do. The great thing about Etsy is you've got a dashboard, of course, when you're on your computer and uploading, but there's also a Sell Etsy app. And I usually use the app more than I do my computer because it's so easy and simple. You log into Sell Etsy and there's your dashboard. Then it shows how many people have viewed your listings. It tells you who has favorited your items, favorited your stores. There's a section that tells you what people were searching for when they came across your store. So there's actually more metrics in Etsy than there is in Amazon back-end wise. So that can also give you ideas of, well, they were searching for, I don't have a single cat shirt, so I'll just say black cat shirt, but they somehow stumbled upon my store. Maybe I should make some black cat shirts. So they do actually give you some back-end information, which is really cool.
Yes. And that's, I think, what I'm most excited about. I still have not found time to open up the Etsy account, but after watching your videos, for sure, I know exactly how to do it. And I'm working with some other people now, try to have them run the account because I just don't have time for it. But with all that additional information, I'm very curious to see how that will lend itself, even back to merch, like any of that stuff, if there's any cross information that I can gather to help me out in other areas.
Yeah, I was wondering that too, but I've noticed, which is like, I've got the same shirts on Etsy as Amazon, but the ones that are really popular on Etsy, I may have sold one or two on Amazon and vice versa. The one that was my best selling on Amazon has sold one on Etsy. So it's not really translating, or maybe it is. I'm just not good enough at keywords. I need some more help and training. But yeah, I'm thinking there's got to be some information that you could use that's merch related.
I think they're definitely different, like customer base, and even if it's the same customer, I think their mindset's a little bit different. Like when you're, like you were saying earlier, people who sell on Amazon, we kind of want to, like, we're just seen as kind of faceless. They don't really know anything about the seller, and on Etsy, it's like the exact opposite. Like you want to know exactly who you're buying from and their bio and all that. And
you do, but the other side of it is because Etsy is quote unquote handmade, people are willing to pay a higher price. Mm-hmm. They're willing to wait longer, and they're willing to pay for shipping, and you're not going to get that on Amazon. They want it in 2 days, quick, now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is more of a, like I said, a relationship platform. And nobody just emails me to chat with me. They're just like, hey, I love the design. Can you put it on a tank top? And I'm like, sure, absolutely. And, I'll do that for you right now and send you over the link.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
that's
awesome.
it.
Yeah. I feel like we're giving off the impression that we're just like softballing Stephanie a bunch of questions, but honestly, me and Steven don't sell on Etsy right now just because of how crazy busy we are with everything else we're trying to do. And I think that's why we're so excited to partner with Stephanie on this, someone who's knowledgeable and having success and willing to share it. And on top of that, even put it in a more professional way than me and Steven have been able to provide content for you guys. So
That was the biggest takeaway for me.
yeah.
I'm going to
Oh, people
regret
actually
that I
do
ever
this
did
for a
that.
living and are good at it, not just winging it and trying to go, hey, what are we talking about? I don't know. Let's sit down, let's turn on the computer and start firing off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I might
it's been a
regret having
great
ever
learning
done that for you.
Yeah, I told you from the beginning. I said you messed up. Everything we do now, even we want to reshoot some other videos. I just was like, okay, Stephanie can do this. Stephanie can do this. Like everything I do now is like Stephanie can do this. I'm excited. I don't know. I don't know if you're excited.
Like
And
I
I'm
said,
very
I'm
excited
happy to
for
help.
Wednesday to see how people, the people that we have shown it to have nothing but raving reviews. So I'm more excited to see letting
Good.
these people in this group see it and then see the feedback we get from it. Because I don't know. I guess the level of professionalism that I am used to in this space of like online teaching is kind of like the standard that we've been going off of. And then just to see that, oh, there's another level to this that I don't see anybody else doing. It's very exciting for me. And most of the time people are just like this, talking with no over the shoulder. That's what we were able to do. And then we saw a lot of success with that. And then to take it another step for how you do it. So like you show the screen, you're able to highlight things and point. And even the music coming in and fading in and out, I was like, how did you do? Like I've been trying to do that for so long. I don't know how I do that. And you're like, oh, it's the program I use. And I was like, oh yeah, definitely not getting that. I'm not learning that. I'm not doing that.
What was cool though is because when I shot that video, I already had an Etsy store, so it was kind of hard for me to do one from scratch. So, my husband has an Etsy account, but not a store. So what I ended up doing was opening a store in his name, and I only put 9 designs up in his store. I was like, well, I only did one for the video. Then I was like, well, I might as well put a few up, see what happens. In less than a week, he actually had a sale. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Enough encouragement for you guys to start your own Etsy store and at least try stuff over there. To add on top of that encouragement, my action step for this week is for you guys to go and do that. And that's because, again, thank you to Stephanie. She provided a link for you guys to get your first 40 listings for free. So like she was saying earlier, Etsy is, you have to pay to play. The prices is not crazy over there, but you do have to put some money into it in order to start listing shirts over there. So to get your first 40 free, I just posted a link in the Facebook chat. And so that will help you guys get your first 40 for free, so you can go over there and just start listing shirts tonight if you want to get started with it immediately.
I didn't mean to monopolize the questions. Did we have any more questions in the chat? I'm just very interested because it's something that I've been wanting to do and I just have not been able to have the time. But now, after showing your video to other people and they're like, oh, yes, I can obviously do that, instead of me going, can you do an Etsy store? What does that require? I have no idea. Can you figure it out? And then they are lost. But just showing them your videos, they were like, oh, yes, I understand that. Yes, I can do all of those steps. So I appreciate that.
It's actually, it's kind of easy. I mean, when you first want to do it, it's a little intimidating. You're like, oh my God, it's an integration between 2 different platforms. What do I do? I mean, I'm not a computer person. But I was like, oh, okay, I got this. I mean, I watched a couple of videos, I read a couple articles, and I figured it out. When I started my store, I sat down, started my store, and got 40 listings up. And it took me the full day, but I did it in one day. Because I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it.
So why 40 listings? Just because that's what.
Because I had a link for 40 free listings. And
so I know you said before there was a certain amount of listings that you had to have to.
Yeah. So in order to be taken seriously, you want to have some full pages. Nobody wants to go into, your Etsy store in the first page. You only have 2 designs and that's it. At a bare minimum, when you open your store, you should get 10 designs up because that will cover your first page.
Gotcha.
But you don't start ranking you don't start getting your relevancy score, you don't start getting ranked in Etsy until you have at least 50 items listed in your store. And that's how you start getting more traffic in your relevancy rank and rating. So it's important to try to go ahead and get some up. And like I said, if you guys are all doing merch, which you are, you're here, you've got designs. And that's what I did. I took my designs for merch and I put them on Etsy. So I already had a backlog of designs, and was able to get them up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think it was in Texas. I was talking to someone else who does print on demand, and they said that they view each design and all the keywords that they have with the design as an asset, and they just try to use that asset as many places as possible. So that is a cool mindset to get into, of just, all the designs that you used on Amazon, even if they didn't work on Amazon, don't feel like you just have to throw those away or forget about them. Like, there are other places that you can try them. And I've heard of a lot of people having really good success with Etsy, so I would definitely take this seriously and go over there and start trying that out.
Yeah, I mean, I have some designs that, after 90 days fell off Amazon, that they sold on Etsy. So it's a different clientele. It's a different customer. You never really know. What's the worst thing that can happen? You lose $8.
Exactly.
It's 20 cents per listing. You're going to be okay.
Right. We have a question in chat for you, Stephanie, to recommend a good t-shirt brand and style to go with for Etsy.
Okay, so it's up to you. I personally like to use the Bella Canvas. I think it's the Bella Canvas 301. It's a more expensive shirt. They do have the, what's it called? Advil. I don't know Glidden. Gildan. Yeah, the real cheap $9 shirt. I hate that shirt. I refuse to wear them. I do not own any myself. When you wash them, they shrink. They feel like cardboard. And my thought process is pay for a better shirt, have customers coming back for more. So I've actually had several people email me after they bought one of my shirts and said, oh my God, this shirt is so soft. So I use the unisex Bella Canvas 301 for all my shirts. That's all I use in regards of the regular shirt. And then I use the Next Level women's racerback tank top because it comes in more colors.
Yeah, and I can tell you from just my traditional screen printing side, like, that's a super popular shirt, the Next Level racerback. We sold a ton of those when I was working for the traditional screen printer, so those are good shirts as well.
And one of the girls I work with was actually wearing one of my tank tops to work today, and it was one of the Next Level. Nice. She had to put a cardigan over it because that's a no-no at the office. But it was cute. Yeah, so I use like I said, the Bella Canvas. And most of when I'm uploading a design, I try to put it on in as many of the ash colors as possible, because to me those are just softer, right? But Bella Canvas and Next Level racerbacks. Those are my two choices.
What would you say the most important part of starting on Etsy is?
It's really getting your profile completely set up. Again, on Amazon, it's kind of a faceless platform. On Etsy, because it is relationship based, people will come in, look at your store, they'll see an item and go, "Oh, that's cute." Then they'll click on the, about the store, and if it's blank, they're wondering, okay, is this a scam? Is this a real person? And profiles that are fully complete with the About Me section, their shop policies, sell a heck of a lot more than those without. So I would say, the best thing you can do before you even start your Etsy shop is go get on Etsy, just surf, look up cat shirt, find a shirt you like, and then click on the About the Store. Go see several different stores. What do they say about themselves? What do their shop policies look like? What does their About Me section look like? And just get some really good ideas. I think you really need to have a completed profile and a completed storefront. Make sure you get your banner image up. Make sure, you don't want it to be blank with this default funky picture.
All right, to double back on the last question, if you can just list off those two t-shirts that you recommended again, and I'll write them down.
Sure. So it is I'm actually pulling it up right now. Make sure I give you the right numbers. So it's the Bella Canvas 3001 unisex. That's the t-shirt that I like to use. And then the tank top is its next level, 6733, ladies tri-blend racerback tank.
Thank you.
More than welcome. But those are my two favorite. And I've ordered several of both for myself, and I actually really like them. So they're actually nicer than Amazon's premium shirts.
Ooh, that's good. Shots fired.
No, Next Level is like one of the best t-shirt companies out there as far as like softness and how people like them. Next Level is the next level.
Yeah, they're really comfy.
You want to go into more questions, brother?
Yeah, we got a few in chat. Just trying to finish up this to make sure everyone's got the right numbers and everything.
Yeah, sorry, Stephanie gave me a few ideas, so I have like notes open.
Right.
Well, just thinking of how you were talking about go to other people's stores and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that I really enjoy watching. So doing a video with you to kind of go through that, and even like my keywords, and then just it would be cool if we could do like me and you shooting videos and kind of just walking through the Etsy process together. So I have ideas, so I've been writing them down.
So, sorry, we do have some more questions in Facebook. Melinda asked, how about whether to have a profile with a personal photo versus a business type profile? What do you think is better to be on Etsy as like more of a professional corporate business or just something that's super personalized?
So you actually have the chance to do a little bit of both. So on your shop page, you've got your banner and then your shop photo. So for your shop photo, I would use like your logo. I would use something more professional. But there's also a section that says about the owner or shop owner, and you can upload a picture of yourself. So you can have the best of both worlds. That's what I would do. That's what I did. So.
Any other questions in the chat for Etsy, brother?
Not that I'm seeing. If you guys have them, please ask them now. We'll try and answer all of them. But if I don't see anything else, we're going to move on.
Stephanie is in the group. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Stephanie is in the group, and she's more than willing to help anybody in here with any kind of Etsy questions. So
absolutely,
she has been a huge help with just answering even just merch questions. So that's why we've made her an admin. I hope I didn't force her into that. Yeah, I feel like I kind of set her up with that. I wanted her to be admin before I asked her today so that she would. And she has been a huge wealth of knowledge just for everything that's in the group. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Anytime.
Yeah. So to double down on my action step, because we have a few more people in here now that weren't in here before, I really want you guys to sign up for Etsy. Again, me and Steven aren't currently there just because we're trying to wrap our head around a ton of stuff. But we're excited about it, and with Stephanie's course, like we saw how kind of easy it was, how simple she like laid out all the steps. Like, oh yeah, we can definitely do this. And so if you guys scroll down in the Facebook chat a little bit, there is a link to 40 free listings to help you guys get started over there. So I just want to double down on that so no one misses it, because that's a really cool opportunity. And again, just say thank you to Stephanie because she's provided so much value for us in this group. So we're excited about that. But we're going to dive into something not necessarily Etsy related, and just other questions that we saw in the group this week. This is a merch-based Facebook group. You might not know it from just this video, but we have some other questions that we saw in the group that we just want to answer here for you guys live, just because we're super busy now and we don't necessarily have the time or even get the notifications now that some of these questions pop up. So the first one was from Glordana, who said they still haven't sold a single shirt, and they even bought designs from our art team. Somehow none of my shirts have sold, and I'll kind of point Steven to this just because he's the one who kind of told me this, is that art isn't necessarily the thing that's making your shirt sell over on Amazon, even though that was my mindset when I first started having sales. He quickly showed me otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know. I take a lot of things for granted, but I think the understanding of how Amazon works as a platform, how to use keywords, how to get your thing in, how to get your any product in front of customers' eyes is the most important part. Obviously, you're not going to close the deal unless the art is at a comparable level. And I guess that's why we were talking about before, like coming up with your strategy. How good do you feel at understanding keywords? How good do you feel at understanding landing zones? How good do you feel like your art is, and then start finding places that you feel that you can compete so you can be the big fish in a small pond. Now, I know Nathaniel does a lot of art, and I would say his art team is very good. Not all of our shirts sell, but we are constantly tweaking and adjusting to see where the shirts show up so that we can say, okay, nobody can find this shirt. That's the problem. So unless I see exactly where your shirts are, I don't know how to like properly advise you, but I would say if you feel like the landing zone that you're going after has, say, more than 5,000, I would say go under 5,000. And I would say go as far down as you can to where there is actually still sales and start there. That would be my biggest piece of advice for anybody starting out. Try to niche down as far as possible. And it's something that Nathaniel did that we kind of stumbled into was Nathaniel made a Florida shirt, but we technically sold it as a St. Petersburg riding shirt, and the niche for that was extremely low. There were a few shirts there. Some of them were selling, but because of the way Nathaniel designed the shirt, it was a Florida shirt. It just so happened to take some imagery from local. So we were able to get some sales, and then I don't know a better way to explain this, but we worked our way up the niche. So Florida is not necessarily what we targeted in the beginning, but we saw Florida and then we niched down. Okay, Florida, a small subsection of Florida, St. Petersburg. Okay, also biking, not necessarily all kind of biking, but trail riding. It was like way down on the niche that there was not a lot of competition. And because we were able to get sales, then Amazon saw, oh, this shirt is selling. Let's try to get it in front of more eyes. And the opposite works when you have a shirt that's up for a while. They say, hey, nobody's buying this, and we put this shirt all over the place. Let's now put this exactly where we think it belongs in whatever your title or however you're naming it is, and that's the only place your shirt will show up. So the same kind of video I did with the indexing, keywords, there's a lot to it, but ultimately you want Amazon to recognize your shirt and it to be selling. That's the most success you're going to have. And getting as far down into those niches is, I think, the best place to start. Be the big fish in a very small pond. And I think Stephanie actually answered this question.
Well, I think, the artwork, if your artwork is ugly, nobody's going to buy the shirt. And I know Nate's artwork, his team is wonderful. So I know that's not the issue. But you could have the best looking shirt in the world, but if nobody can find it because you're not in the right landing zone and you're not using the right keywords, the point's moot. So, I mean, it's really, like Steven said, niching down, finding those keywords and finding the right landing zone.
Yeah, and to add on to that, something that's been big for me as someone who manages a lot of the accounts is just split testing. We've done videos on that. We've kind of covered that topic. But don't be afraid to go back into those t-shirts and change up a few things, or even just changing like one or two keywords that you're targeting can then bring in sales. Like you could just be missing the mark by a tiny bit, but going back and looking at that, reevaluating what's going on, all that stuff really helps, and that's a big part of why we've been able to find so much success, is just because we go back and we look at, okay, why didn't this work, and then we try a few more things until we can get that ball rolling. It's funny that Steven brought up that example. This is kind of offhand, but that shirt sold 4 times today. Like that shirt still sells with the weird keywords that we did for that, and just kind of the super local like niche that we went after. So that stuff does work. And that's one of my favorite ways to design, because I'm always traveling. I'm always going new places, learning like little events that are going on locally in all the different places that I'm going. I make shirts for a lot of those, and I see sales from that stuff. So I definitely suggest that you guys try that out.
Yeah, I guess just to talk about split testing, use that piece of art that you've gotten and put on multiple different shirts, and then even try different landing zones, different places. And like Nathaniel said, switch up the keywords, maybe switch up the art a little bit. Nathaniel made a video on how you can tweak his art and do different words on the shirt or whatever the case may be. And is the niche that you're going after something that you should be going after. I mean, even on our over-the-shoulder calls, we've done niches for people, and it's been very small. I don't want to say any, but I'll say like swimming was one that was like really difficult. Unless you sold a certain kind of shirt, there was not enough traffic going to any of those listings to make it worth going after. Even though swimming is a huge niche, it's very difficult on Amazon to sell swimming t-shirts. So it might just be the niche that you're going after. So just looking at the overall picture. So we might not have started at St. Petersburg biking shirt. We started with Florida and said, okay, Florida is definitely worth going after. Now, how do we niche down, find a landing zone, and then we can start targeting Florida overall.
All right, to keep this thing rolling, I'm going to go on to the next one. Jessica, she posted a picture. I guess this isn't really a question, but she posted a picture of the PopSocket update, which I appreciate. She actually saw it before I had started logging in, so that was good. I wanted to talk on that for a second, and Stephen had some opinions that he wanted to share. And then I actually have a question to ask Stephanie after we talk about that. So the actual dimensions, if you guys have not got them on your accounts yet, is 485 pixels by 485 pixels. So it's a square, and it's much, much smaller than the t-shirt art needs to be. So if you guys are resizing or preparing to start selling pop sockets, that's the sizing that you want to go after, or start preparing your art at. And then I'll let Steven kind of talk about the pricing. When we saw the pricing, we weren't super excited about it because we kind of know.
You want me to talk about it?
Yeah, well, we kind of know where pop sockets sell. Like, you can go to the store and see what they're priced at, and the way Amazon has it set up right now, we're not super excited about it, but you can go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, I was, I guess disappointed is the word that I will use when I saw their pricing. You almost have to sell it at $11 to kind of break even, and $15 to make like a little over $2. So to me, the pricing is outrageous, to say the least. I don't know who's buying pop sockets in that range. I thought we would be able to use it kind of the same way we're using like print on demand, or not print on demand, but
QET?
no, the companies that we're going to.
Oh,
like,
the promotional companies.
Yeah, promotional companies. I thought we could start using Amazon like the promotional companies and double dip into that well to say like, okay, these pop sockets will sell because they have these logos on it, and we can also use this audience to sell it, and then use Amazon's audience also to sell more of them. But it's not turning out like that because of how they have things priced. We were kind of talking about the same thing for the hoodies. The hoodies are just at a high price that it makes it difficult to leverage merch the way that we wanted to leverage merch, which was like build brands and stuff like that. Just makes it a little more difficult because of the high price. I understand their business. They got to figure things out. But that price to me was what kind of turned me off from the pop sockets being so exciting to me. I'm excited to see what else Amazon has coming out. I mean, there's a few more products in the works, but after seeing this and the hoodies, I'm kind of not so excited about it in that way. We still are going to be launching a ton of shirts, hoodies. We'll be testing pop sockets. I've been wrong before. Might be another case of me being wrong, but I was not as excited as I was before I heard the news and started reading a little bit more on what actually is going to be happening with the pop sockets.
Yeah, so we'll keep you guys updated on that. We'll start testing on that soon. But I wanted to ask Stephanie, again, because we don't sell on Etsy, I don't exactly understand what you can sell on. So my question to you, Stephanie, is what other type of products can you sell on Etsy through the Printful integration?
So Printful does not have pop sockets, sorry, but they do have a lot of other products other than just regular t-shirts and tank tops. You can put your designs on bikinis, on socks, on coffee mugs, on canvas board, on pillows, on pillowcases, cell phone cases, hats. There's a lot. Now, there is kind of a caveat with the hat. Those are not printed, they're embroidered. So you end up having to pay like a $25 setup fee for embroidery, which means you don't make a profit on that first hat. So be careful with the hats. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of products. Like they even have like the sublimation shirts. Like I said, they even have women's bikinis now that you can put your designs on.
So there's a
Will
lot
not
more
be rocking one of those anytime soon, but you know, the options are there.
James actually just asked in Facebook that he had some people request a tank top, and he wish he had done that. You said earlier that you can put your design on tank top and then send them a link. Do you want to talk on that for a second?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different ways to do it. If you have enabled the custom request, they can send you a custom request. You can just send them. You can create what they call a private listing, and then send it to them. Here's the link to the private listing. It doesn't show to anyone else. And what I've done, because if one person wants it on a tank top, then there's probably more. So what I'll do is I'll actually create a whole new listing on multiple colors of the tank top and say, hey, I've put this on a tank top for you. You've got 10 colors to choose from. Here's the link. And it's just to an actual listing that anybody can find.
Awesome. Yeah. So James, you might.
Or you do public.
Yeah. So James, you might want to go back and see if you can't contact those people and say, hey, I can put that on a tank top for you. And then even do what Stephanie just said and make it public. Because if one person's asking for it, she's probably right. There's probably other people that would enjoy that as well. So I would definitely go back and try and pursue that, or at least just try it and throw it up. So awesome. So there are a ton more products on Etsy, which is exciting and even works out for some other partnerships that we have. I'll have to look at that more seriously.
Well, if you were talking about like niching down in stores, one thing I would do though is if you're going to have different, like if you're going to have apparel, I would have it in one store. If you're going to have home goods, I would have that in probably a separate store. Because I'm only doing apparel right now, then I've got one store. But if I branch out into coffee mugs or home goods or canvas totes, I'll probably open a second store for that one because I don't want to have it too confusing.
Yeah, no, that's a really good golden nugget for people to think about, not just to throw everything under one name, which is the same thing we suggest for merch, so it works out. So we're going to go ahead and continue all the uplifting stuff with the shout outs. We have 2 this week, and one of them is going to go to LaDonna. She launched her first shirt with a nonprofit, which makes me
Yay!
Yeah, unbelievably happy to see someone taking action on that and have success with it. I absolutely still love working with nonprofits. We don't talk about it a ton because a million other things going on, but that is still one of my favorite things to do is just to go help nonprofits out. It's a fantastic way to help not only, yourself make some money, but have money go to a good cause. And a cause that you get to pick and work with them, and there's just so many good relationships and like more business that comes in from that. Like it's just a fantastic thing. So super happy to hear that you're having success with that. And if there's anything that we can do to help you guys go after more nonprofits, let us know because that's definitely something that I'm pretty passionate about. And so that was our first shout out, and then the second one is to Stephanie. We've said her name a million times and talked about Etsy a bunch. But we're just so excited that someone in our community spoke up and we've had hunted you as soon as we figured out what you did and that you were having success with something that we know very little about. So to see all of this progress coming in whatever it's been like 3 months max of just like talking with you, getting this all rolling, seeing that you're still having success on Etsy. And that you want to help other people in our group. Like this is like the perfect partnership for us to have. So we're super excited about that. We're super excited about her course coming out Wednesday. So shout out to Stephanie. Hopefully you guys are as excited about this as we are because we've seen a lot of people have success with Etsy. And now that we can help you guys understand that a little bit more, that's what we love to do. So we're super excited about that. So hopefully you guys have a great week and we'll catch you on Wednesday.